Welcome to your custom deep dive. Have you ever looked behind those massive, pristine 4K screens at a conference center or maybe a retail store and just noticed a chaotic tangle of ancient, dusty cables?
Oh, yeah. It's usually a complete mess back there.
Right. Well, today our mission is to unpack the specific piece of hardware keeping those Frankenstein setups alive. We are looking really closely at the Smart-AVI CVH-01-S-V2 VGA to HDMI converter.
That is quite a mouthful of a name, but it's a fascinating device.
It really is. It's essentially this invisible bridge keeping legacy technology functioning seamlessly in our, modern high-definition world.
Yeah, it's a perfect example of a generational tech collision. I mean, we're talking about a device whose primary job is just to take an analog VGA video and audio signal and translate it into a digital HDMI format.
So it basically lets old school tech speak fluently to brand new displays.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. I see it as almost like a universal translator. You've got your legacy PCs, maybe some aging point-of-sale setups or old security cameras, and this little box just lets them communicate with a modern monitor. But I can hear people asking, right? They see a $199 price tag for a single adapter and think, well, why not just upgrade the old equipment?
Right, and that makes total sense on the surface. But that is where economics and, well, infrastructure really come into play. I mean, replacing a single security camera, sure, that's easy.
Of course, just swap it out.
But if you're ripping out an entire legacy system that's deeply embedded in a massive conference center or, say, a complex home theater, you're talking about tearing into walls. You have to pull new cables, buy all new hardware, and even retrain the staff.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that adds up fast.
It really does.
Yeah.
So spending a couple $100 on a patch instantly bridges that gap. You end up saving thousands of dollars just by keeping perfectly functional, if slightly older, equipment viable.
Saving thousands on hardware is great, but, I mean, that means nothing if the old security footage looks like blurry pixel soup on a brand new high-res monitor.
That is the big concern, yeah.
So how does the box actually handle the image data during that translation? The specs mention an integrated scaler to output at 1080p and a highly precise 10-bit analog to digital conversion.
Right, the scaler is really key here.
Wait, let me stop you at 1080p, though. If I'm feeding an ancient, grainy 480p security feed into this box, the scaler isn't like using AI to magically turn it into a Pixar movie, right?
No, definitely not. It cannot create detail that just wasn't in the original signal.
Okay, so what is it actually doing then?
What that scaler and the 10-bit conversion are actually doing is mapping the continuous sort of wavy lines of an analog signal over to the strict grid-like pixels of a modern digital display. And it does this with extreme mathematical precision.
Oh, like trying to perfectly trace a freehand pencil sketch onto a piece of rigid digital graph paper?
That is a really great way to picture it, actually. By processing each color channel at 10 bits, it prevents the colors from banding or, losing their depth during that tracing process.
So it's not enhancing it, just translating it accurately.
Exactly. It simply formats the old pixels to fit the new screen correctly without degrading the image or stretching it into those weird funhouse proportions.
Okay, so it's preserving the picture, not upgrading it. But video is really only half the multimedia experience. Here's where I think it gets really interesting. The audio processing.
Oh, the audio side is surprisingly robust.
Right. The unit takes a basic 3.5 millimeter audio plug, just your standard headphone jack, but it outputs massive high-end digital audio formats like DTS HD, Dolby True HD, and LPCM 7.1.
Yeah, those are some heavy-duty digital formats.
How does a basic stereo input even use all of that? I mean, it's not suddenly creating 7 channels of surround sound from 2, is it?
No, it doesn't magically turn 2 speakers into 7. Instead, it takes that basic stereo sound and wraps it into a high-bandwidth digital package.
Wait, so it's just packaging it differently?
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
Modern surround sound receivers, they expect a complex digital stream. If you just fed them a raw analog signal, they would reject it entirely.
Oh, I see.
So this converter takes the analog audio and perfectly packages it into a format like LPCM 7.1. That way, your modern receiver actually accepts the signal without throwing an error.
Ah, so it's kind of like wrapping an old letter in a high-tech digital envelope.
That is exactly what it's doing.
And physically, the device itself is incredibly practical for these setups, too. I mean, it weighs just half a pound, and you can run cables up to 25 feet long on both the input and output sides.
Which gives you a full 50-foot total reach. That's huge for commercial spaces.
Definitely. Plus, it's completely plug and play, like no drivers or software needed at all.
It truly highlights the value of this hardware as a vital link between our technological past and our present. It ensures that progress doesn't force us to just immediately discard the vast infrastructure that came before.
Absolutely. So what does this all mean for you? Well, I think it's a reminder of the unseen work required to keep our hybrid world running smoothly.
It really makes you appreciate the invisible bridges we rely on every day.
It really does. Which leaves you with something to ponder. If we need highly precise 10-bit digital converters today just to make yesterday's analog outputs talk to modern screens, what kind of incredibly complex adapters will we need 20 years from now just to make today's modern HDMI tech compatible with the displays of the future?